All right, so we are looking pretty good here. Just checking to make sure I'm live and chatting correctly. Hopefully, you can hear some sound. Maybe I can get some feedback here. Yeah, so we're looking good. All right, so I have come on over here, Levi. It's okay. Now you can be in the video. So I have a little boy here, Levi. He's gonna be my assistant to. Oops, don't cover up my microphone here. So he's gonna be my assistant here to kind of take a look at things, right? And we turn on the volume on the phone. And so what we're going to do is we're going to work on this Trek Navigator 5.0, which is a Navigator 50. Sorry, not 5.0, but Navigator 50. And we're going to go ahead and put the wheels back on, do some other things. We'll see what we can do. And Levi's going to help me do that, right, buddy? Okay. So first we get some gloves on, and then we'll dive into the to fixing the bike. Okay. All right. So let me get my gloves. And you want to sit up? You want to sit on the seat? Okay, you can sit down there. Okay. So let's get the gloves. Okay. So this is so my channel. Welcome to my channel. Obviously, my channel is One Loose Sprocket. One Loose Sprocket is a more or less a takeoff from One Loose Screw for people that are slightly crazy, and sometimes I wonder if I am. But I'm doing this live session to kind of I spend a lot of time working on videos, and for some reason, I find that I spend more time editing videos than I do actually working on bikes. And I find that if I actually come and just work on the bike and just do what I do on the bike first, then I don't have to spend a whole lot of time editing. And I will have Levi help me out to get me the right tools that I need, right? And we'll go from there. Okay. So let me just put this down just a little bit.
Hello.
There we go. Now you can see it. All right, good. So what I did on this bike was I actually took this bike. This bike was actually in a garage. Had been sitting there, was dusty and all that stuff. And I cleaned this up. I cleaned this up yesterday. I did a live session yesterday. Didn't turn out necessarily the way I wanted it to. So I'm kind of like, ugh, okay. But this time I'm seeing it things working out much better. So it has. Let me just walk you through some of the things that I found with this bike. The front, this is looking really good. So I like the headset. The headset, there's no binding, there's no crank grinding. I leave. I be keep. You gotta be okay. No talking. All right. I'll ask you when I need something. Okay. So there's no binding, no cranking or grinding. There's no grabbing or chatter, so to speak. So it's really smooth. That's what I like to see. And as well as for the bottom bracket. So the bottom bracket looks good too. I'm gonna put you right over here, buddy. Right over there. Just a little bit out of the way. All right. You can watch. You can watch, okay? But you gotta keep quiet. All right. So this moves really smoothly. So the bottom bracket is really good. There's no again, same thing, no binding. There's no grittiness. It's really smooth. Of course, this has a cartridge in it. So the cartridge has sealed bearings, usually really good. Uh The derailleur, I already cleaned up the derailleur a little bit. It's the idler pulleys are moving very nicely. No problems there. It's not. There's no problems with the shifting here. Seems to be good. The front derailleur same way. Shifting's good. So all that is good. And front wheel, I already cleaned it up, put it back on the bike, and it's working as expected. So that's good. And so now we have the rear wheel. So the rear wheel is a little dirty. As you can see, there's a lot of cobwebs on it. There's a lot of spider webs and things like that. So it's pretty dirty. And this is what the way the front wheel looked too as well. So I'll clean this up a little bit. I was noticing though, if you can see, and it's gonna be a little hard to see, but you can see with the light, and I can put it like this maybe. that there's a little bit of leakage of the grease from inside the seal part here, and it's not concerning me too much because I don't think that is a major problem. However, that is something to at least consider. The reason I don't think it's such a big deal is because it moves very smoothly, and I'm not hearing it doesn't smooth. So the way I typically can tell whether a, a, a bearing or if something is like that is because over there's two problems. You can either have it dry and there's no lubrication whatsoever, and that lubrication, and then it moves it spins very freely, too freely actually, or it could be gummed up because the grease is starting to dry, but not completely dry. So it's lost its lubricative power properties, and now just simply is starting to bind the the wheel the bearings and stuff like that. So the ball bearings are not moving freely. In this case, I'm not getting that. I mean, it moves very easily. I mean, it's there. Not feeling any binding. There's no clicking. There's no jumping. It doesn't feel like there's something inside that's not working the way it should. So I think this is good. Just simply dirty. This is a little bit of an issue, not because the freewheel is it doesn't seem to have any problem internally. It's just the sprockets are a little bit. They're just a little bit dirty. They've gotten a little corroded. So it just needs a little bit of work on that. All right. So what we're gonna do? You want to get the you want to get my mineral spirits, buddy? The spray bottle. Thank you. All right. So I'm gonna take this, and you want to grab me a paper towel too, please. All right. Yep. Just pull it off. There you go. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and clean up the outside first. Use the mineral spirits here. Okay. And let me just clean it here. Just clean off the dirt. Still, oh yeah, I'm still there. Okay, good, good. Still can see me. All right, so let's just do this. Clean the rim a little bit, and just take this junk off. Clean the spokes a little bit. Because this has quick release on it, I actually probably want to take those off, and I will want to take off the the sprocket because the sprocket does want to have a little bit of cleaning on it because I don't like leaving it too dirty. It's that's a it's the older Shimano. It has a little bit of they're getting away from it's a they're getting away from steel a little bit. Well, it's still steel, but it's galvanized steel, and so instead of it rusting, it's actually corroding. The outermost ring is the only one that's actually rusting. So if they started to do that because I'm sure there's just too much complaints about the rusting of using stainless steel plates. So they went with the corrosion, and this also has what's called the Mega Drive. And you can see it has this really huge lower gear, and that's for really it's like almost for like turbo, but in the opposite. Instead of making you go faster, it gives you more power. So that's what it does. All right. So let's go ahead and take that off. And the way to take this off would be using, and we'll put this out of the way, and we'll get my free will extractor. Oops. So it's called a free will extractor. It's just just has some pinions here. Just little some just has some what do they call these things? There's some teeth, and it just slides right over the top and into this here. I actually do have another one that has a post in the center that goes in for the quick release, so it can hold it there. But it doesn't make much difference. This will work fine. So just get my Reach over the top here. Get my adjustable wrench here. And one of the hacks that I always use is to put this on here. All right, Levi, you want to get out my PVC pipe? You know what that is? That white pipe down there, right down there. Look down there, down, down. Over there. Yep, that one. You got it. All right. Yeah, there you go. Nope, the one in the middle. That's right. Just pull it out. You're good. Keep pulling it out. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up here so we can see it. Yep, pull it out. There you go. I'll take that one out. There you go. Thank you. So we'll slip this on here. That's all right. We're good. Okay, so now this is just a matter of holding it and just a little more leverage. All right, that's how it's on there. Yeah. All right. There we go. Got it. So there we go. That's all I want. You want to put it back? Okay. Thank you. All right. So the freewheel is just on with pressure. And there we go. So it's off. Now, this moving, the ratchet on the inside sounds pretty good. Again, a little bit of rust around here. There's just some rust here. Not the end of the world, but to kind of clean this up, there's a couple ways you can do this. One is actually to remove the individual sprockets, the individual gears off the sprocket itself, and completely take them apart. I've done this. I actually have a video in which I actually did that. But actually, Levi, I'm gonna have a seat right here, okay? Thank you. Yeah, you can stay right here. So what happened was that I do have a video of me taking apart a Shimano sprocket. It was a 6-speed, actually much earlier than this one. This is actually a newer one. Not quite so new though, but it's it was much different. Yeah. So looking at this now, not too bad. So what I'll do typically with this here is I have some folded over sandpaper that, as you can see, just fits right into the groove. And then I just basically just take it like this and just rotate it around inside. So that's pretty much all I do. So I need my mineral spirits like this. And take this around a little bit here. What's that? Hmm? Right, that's right. So just get it between each one of these grooves here. And then once you've gotten some of that there, so just like this is pretty much all it is. It's not a big deal. See, it just fits right. It fits right in here. Yeah. So anyway, then if I find that I just need to get something off the surface like this right here, right on the surface, then I can go and get got a wire brush, and the wire brush just simply just attack it with that. Looks a little better, a little better. Then I will put it into my bucket of mineral spirits that I have in here. So And here my bucket. And let's just go open that up. And I should have a chain in here somewhere. That's for this bike, and it's right here. Yeah, it stinks, doesn't it? It smells pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a smell bad. It's just a smell of solvent. That's all. So here's the chain that's off this bike here. It's a little bit rusted, but we'll take care of that in just a second. Okay.
Pretty wet.
Yeah. Okay. So now cover this up and shake it around. So let's shake it around. All right, you can have a seat again. I'm good. All right. So now we're gonna take it out.
Yay, now we're taking it out.
Yep. And you can see that it already is looking much better. There's less corrosion. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does look better.
Wait, can I see?
Yep. See? Does that look better?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
So
a little bit brown.
a little bit brown. Yeah. What's that brown stuff? What's that brown stuff? Huh? You call it rust. That's what the brown stuff is. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. That is the problem with most bikes is rust. At least bikes that have metal in it or steel.
Does rust beat hammer?
No. Well, I guess it would because a hammer would rust. It would definitely rust. All right, that's looking much better. So look here. So it's definitely looking not so rusty now. Took off a lot on the outside here and a little bit on the inside. But each one of the individual gears are looking much better now. Okay, so now this can go back on the bike. And to take advantage of the fact that I have this off, I'm going to clean this up too. So just rub this around here. And take advantage of this here.
Ooh.
Yep. Okay. All right. Levi, have a seat. Okay, so now we have this. Let's grab the sprocket. The sprocket goes right back on. Here we go. So that's back on. Yep. That's right. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, huh? That is right. Okay, so clean up the skewer a little bit. What's she doing outside? Yeah, what's she doing outside?
Yeah, muddy, wet, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Even has puddles.
All right, so now I want to get some grease. So we'll get some grease. Put some grease on this. All right, let's put this over here, out of the way. Put just a little grease on this, just to give it a little something to protect it. Okay. And then we'll put the skewer back in. So let's go put this back on this side. Levi, no extra noises. Okay, so with that on there now, clean up the rim a little bit more. What did I do with my rag? Okay, so I did this. Move the spokes a little bit. Okay. When I did check this bike before, I did realize that the rear wheel was slightly out of true, so I have to look into that now. Get this back on. Okay. Just tighten this up a little bit more. All right. So we centered. Let's see. Maybe a little bit off. There we go. Yeah, definitely got a little bit of a bulge there. Okay. So when I was doing this before, I found out that the push this back a little bit now. So I put the brakes on as I will do now. On the other side. Easy to do it here. There we go. Okay, so put the brake there. Definitely got some issues. So loosen this up. Just put it on the floor so I can tighten this thing right. Okay. Okay. Oh, forgot. Can't spin it. Don't have a chain on it. That's an important part. Okay, so this chain is looking a little rusted here. So what I typically will do is get me something like this, mineral spirits. Mineral spirits in here. This glove is already dead. All right, get this glove off. Yeah, I need a paper towel because my hands are getting too sweaty now. I put the glove on. Yeah, because if you're messing with solvents and stuff like that, it's not a good idea to let them contact the skin. Um, Mineral spirits is not really bad, but can be not the best. It does have some issues. It starts to make the skin tingle and things like that. So that's why it's smart to put on gloves. All right, just about there. Sticky gloves are not the best. I actually do put I put some cornstarch in my hands to dry them out so I get the gloves on better.
Oh.
But I didn't do it this time, so I have to live without them. Okay, enough. It's enough. Okay. All right. So need some mineral spirits in here. Okay, and I need my wire brush. And just basically what I'm going to do is just attack it with the brush. And just clean it off. And that's basically all I need to do. There's really, because this chain is not bad. If it were stiff, I would have to say, might have to just replace the chain. But this surface rust is not that bad. So take this here, and we're going to do it like this. Come back, get a little closer here. What we do is I'm just going to mate up the two ends of the chain and then fold it over on itself and then fold it again. So now I have this kind of a flat surface like this. Levi, settle down. So holding it like this, so it's almost like a pancake now. Then I can attack almost the entire side at once with the wire brush. That way I can just clean it off at once. It's coming actually pretty clean. I'm now seeing the logo coming through, and it's a Z. It's a KMC Z chain, which is nice. It's a decent chain. I like it. Sorry, got this down on my hands, so can't see my face. So now that I did a little bit there, let's turn it over, get the other side. It's looking pretty good. That's this side. This again. Levi, stop doing that. Leave it alone. I told you no extra noises, okay? Otherwise, you have to go back inside. You want to go back inside? Okay. Okay. Go back to the folding method. And now that I have this folded over, then I'm going to attack this thing one more time here. Okay. Although chains are relatively cheap, I try to be as conscientious as possible when I'm dealing with my bikes because I don't think that most people are interested in spending money on a new chain if it doesn't need it. If it were stretched, or if there was some broken link, or if there was something else that was actually wrong with it, obviously then you don't want to have a mechanical issue with your bike. But if it's not, if it's still mechanically sound, then really there's no reason to do that. All right, so now it's looking much better. I've got most of that surface rust off. It's looking better. It's not shiny. And if I were to do that, I'd probably attack with the Dremel and take it down to have it, just be. I mean, it's not bad at all. I'm not seeing it as overly rusted. Just a little surface stuff, and in the links themselves are also clean. They're not they're not rusted. So the rollers are important as well. So it looks good. All right, let's get this out of the way. And what I will do is just dry this off a little bit. And then what I'll do is, because this does not have the missing link, or they call it the missing link or the quick link. There's a couple of different names they have for them, which is basically an easy way to remove a chain. What I want to do is then dig that out. So I have that over here amongst my chains. Right here. So just take this up here. Let's get rid of the, I don't need the mineral spirits anymore. Pour this in. Okay, so these can both go out of the way. Right? And then so this is a 7-speed chain. So a 7-speed chain needs the quick link for a 7-speed. So I've got loads of extra chains in here. I always need chains, and this is what I'm looking for. So I have this here, and let's dig into here to find out which one is which. And this one's 6, 7, 8 speed, and that is exactly what I want. So to be really cool today, I'm going to open this up and pull out this one that makes it so obvious that it is a link. It's a missing link because it is gold. So let me dig this one out. As you see, nice gold color as opposed to all the other ones. So I'll take this one out and get this one. My glove is way too far down on my finger, so I'm gonna pull it up a little bit. Okay, so this goes back in with all these guys. And we'll put this away. Okay, so because I do have one extra link that I need to remove for that link, then what I have is I have my chain breaker here. So this chain breaker is used to remove this extra link. And I'll just tighten this up here. And all you do is just twist it on. A little difficult at the beginning because you have to break it free inside that pin that holds the chain link in with the other chain links. And you have to kind of break that free. Once it's broken free, then it's just a matter of loosening it up, and then they fall out. So to put on the missing link, then, as you can see, both of them will have the same end, which has just the open end. There's no pin that can go through there because you want to accommodate this new pin. So Levi, I'm gonna push you over here a little bit out of the way. Sit right there. Yep. Okay, so let's get get the bike back up first. And so we slide this over here. And what we're going to do then is feed. So we should be able to see that good. So take this chain, feed it through the rear derailleur, and then back up over the sprockets. So we feed it through here, over the red pulley. Make sure you go over. There's a little catch inside here. You want to make sure you don't hit that. And then you bring it around that other pulley. And then this is going to go over the top and through to the chain. And once we have it on the chain, I'm going to need my seat there, buddy. I need my seat. I'm going to need to sit down. Yeah. Okay, so now that I have this here, take the chain and pull it through. So now, all right. Okay. So now we take this missing link, and this will go in one side, on the outside and one side on the inside. And then we simply put them together. They lock in place. So it's just a matter of lining them up correctly. And then I do is take it all the way back through so it's on the top, and just do a quick little jerk, and it sets the link. And then I can now do this. So it's a nice little thing there for that missing link. Because then if you ever want to take it off, bring it back down here. All you do is just bring them together, and boom, and now it's loose. So it's a very quick disconnect. It's easy to do, and it's easy to put together as well. So all right, there we go. So now that I have the chain back on, what I want to do is I noticed that the bike is the wheel is catching. It's not, it's hitting the brakes. So the brakes are misaligned. Either the brakes are misaligned or the tire is misaligned. The wheel is misaligned. So one of the two. Let me get my chains out of the way. So we'll get these out of the way, and then go back into this. Okay. So I'm going to go put this out of the way here. Give myself a little space. I'll put the bike the other way around because I can work kind of easier that way. So turn this around here. And we'll put this back up here. Even though this is an aluminum frame, from what I understand here, if I can see the A1, does it have A1 on here? Oversized tubing, 16.5, 42 centimeter. Up there's the A1. Is that it? No, not there. Where's the A1? Just it seems like it sounds like it. It sounds like it. So anyway, I assume this is an aluminum frame. Trek typically does that. They don't obviously move to carbon fiber now, but I think that for most of their bikes they are aluminum framed. Need the stability, need the strength. That's why steel is still king. And I say that obviously with I'm sure there's some contention about that. But a steel frame bike is just simply it's the strongest for the most part. It withstands a lot of abuse. It has some flexibility. Aluminum is really nice because it's lighter weight, but can be a little finicky at times because it doesn't rust, so it corrodes, but does have a tendency because it's a softer metal that it can fatigue a little bit weird different than steel will, and can break in certain joints. Carbon fiber, on the other hand, is much lighter than even aluminum is, and because they are carbon fibers all interwoven, it can break at the weirdest places, like in the center, not at the joint, but right smack in the middle of the bike itself, indicating that it has some problems with the actual structural integrity of the carbon fiber because they use resin to keep them together. So it's not easy to maintain. So I personally, for my bikes, I mean, I have my road bike behind me. It's aluminum frame with a carbon fork. I do go with the carbon fork, and I go with the carbon wheels, the tires, or not the tires. Sorry, the wheels. The wheels are carbon. So that's what I'll do. So anyway, that's my quick spiel on bike frames. Uh, I do actually have up here. I do have a titanium frame, and someday I might be able to build that out and see what a titanium frame feels like, because I've heard they're really stiff, light, and can withstand quite a bit of abuse as well. But again, not I can't. There's no real opinion on that just yet. So anyway, okay. So now that I have this on here and I see that it is actually hitting the brakes, I'm going to go ahead and let's adjust the rear brake. Okay, And there's a little set screw here. And let's get this a little closer. Levi, you're back in the picture again. Well, not that I'm concerned about the picture, but you're in the way. That's a little bit, somewhat. Okay, so we have this. There's a little set screw here, and that will adjust how much the V brakes will open and close. And the thing is that you want them to open and close the same. You want them to travel more the same distance at the same time, as well as make contact with the rim at the same time. I talked about this thing in my other video that I had on changing brake pads, and I discussed at length how the geometry of V brakes work. So, but not to get too deep into that, I'm just going to go ahead and I want to loosen up this other one a little bit. No, actually, we'll tighten this one a little bit. So tighten this up a little bit, and so it's hitting a little. And unfortunately, I'm grabbing my brake cable right here, so that's kind of the reason why I had it down. So for this, I do have to put it down here. So let me raise this up higher. Up here, there we go. Heavy bike, even with the aluminum frame, heavy bike. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, still grabbing a little bit on this side. So on the other side, so let's loosen this up a little bit. There we go. That's loosened up. So there we go. So now, still catching a little bit. So now it's a trueness issue. So one of my favorite things to work on a bike are the wheels. I love building new bike wheel sets and stuff like that. It's a complete art. I love it. So what happens is that the way that the spokes work is you have your spokes almost like a triangle. Your hub is the base of your triangle, and your spokes go up to the rim, which is the point of your triangle. And depending on which way you want that hub, sorry, the way you want the rim to travel, you want it to travel obviously in a straight line. You don't want it to wobble like this, but you don't want it to do this either. So you don't want to do this. You want it to do this and just rotate as if you're looking at it, and you don't see any movement whatsoever. Meaning it's not moving up and down. It's not moving from side to side. Typically, they don't go up and down because usually when they're preset at the factory, the tension is sufficient. Usually what happens is over time they will start to the spokes will start to loosen up a little bit, and it causes this lateral movement than it is rather a vertical movement. So the lateral movement is usually the problem. So when I do this and it catches here, I watch. Now this is like say I have my truing stand right here. I can put it on the truing stand and really true it in nicely. What I'm going to show is just the way to do it. If you don't even have, all you need is some spoke wrenches. These 3 spoke wrenches are really the only things I need. I rarely, if ever, use anything else. The red, the black, and the green each indicate different dimensions of the actual nipples themselves, the spoke nipples. So what I do is you put this on, and if it locks in, this is a little bit on the loose side. So let's try the black one, and it doesn't even go on. So that's not good. Let's try the red one. I think that's the one that's even looser. Okay, so the green one, the first one was the right one. So that it goes on here, and that's the way you would actually rotate. Now, rule of thumb is that as the wheel rotates, and if it's, I'm going to turn myself around a little bit. So as it rotates, if it rotates to the right, that means there's too much tension on this side. So you have one of 2 options. You can either loosen up the spoke nipple, and by loosening it, it causes it to become longer, and then we'll correct it back towards the center. If it's too far to the left, do the same thing. But you want to be a little careful because you don't want to loosen them too much, because then you start to have problems with this again. So what you need to do is, by looking at it, you can do one of 2 things. You either loosen, if it's too far to the right, you loosen it up. The one that's on the right hand side, loosen up so it goes back to center, or you tighten. one that's on the left to pull it back to center. So it's either one, and it kind of there's a little like I say this there's a little bit of a play here, and there's a little bit of finessing to make sure and tweaking it just to make sure that it's really good. Now, when you get down to you're down to uh, like I have on my what do that's called that touring stand, yes, I actually have a dial indicator. So I have a micrometer, and when I'm down to thousandths of an inch, and I'm Levi, don't do that. You're gonna fall down. So when I'm down to thousandths of an inch, then for the most part, I'm good. And within if I'm within a hundredth of an inch, it's barely moving. And again, it's most people are not going to stress over that. Pro racers, people that are really into this thing, obviously are going to be very concerned about that. You want to make sure it's as true as possible. People like me who love to we thrive on this kind of stuff. Sure, why not? Okay, so now that it's caught here, I see that it's on the left-hand side, so I have either one of two options. I can either loosen up this one, which is on the left-hand side. I loosen that one, or I tighten the one that's on the right-hand side. Levi, I said, be careful, okay? You're banging into stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and let's see. Oh, it's all right. So I've got my spoke is getting on. Okay, so let's do this again. Okay, and it is catching right here. Okay, it's actually catching a couple spots. So for here, let's just tighten this one up a little bit. So tighten it up. You tighten about maybe a quarter of a turn, and then you let it loose. You tighten it a quarter of a turn and turn it back maybe or a little beyond a quarter of a turn, and you bring it back about a 16th of a turn. What do you need? Oh, you just want to get seen, huh? Okay, all right. Okay, so now it's catching and it's catching on the right hand side. So I will tighten it up a little bit on the left hand side. So tightening it is this way, and then I bring it back, and then I do the same thing on the following spoke. So bring that in and back. That little tick sound is caused because the spoke nipple, as it rotates, creates torsion on the spoke itself. And if you leave it with the torsion, it actually will once it pops loose, will actually rotate back and actually brings it out of true again. That's why it's so critical to take the wheel and actually stress the wheel and cause all these to pop. Lately, when I've been doing my bike builds, then or building my wheels, then what I will do is I will actually grease my spoke nipples. I didn't think this was a big deal because I was like, no, because you're just introducing some lubrication in there that will cause it to move even faster. Well, strangely enough, the exact opposite happens because there's no binding. Then the spoke really settles in very quickly to its true form, its true nature, where it wants to be straight. It doesn't want to be twisted either way, and the spoke nipple will do that as you twist the spoke nipple. So by having it be lubricated, then it actually will there are less cycles of having to stress the wheel, retrue it, stress the wheel, retrue it, things like that. Usually, I've had to go through sometimes 3 cycles to get the wheel to kind of settle into where it should be. So that's why I start to lubricate my spoke nipples as well as it protects it from corrosion, rust, and things like that. All right, so let's do this a little bit more. And I'm watching and I'm seeing there's a little bit of a bounce right there. So let's do this, and we're going to tighten this one. Okay. Still a little bit tight. All right, let's go a little bit more. Right there. Tighten this one up. Okay. A little bit tight here now. Tighten a little bit. Went a little bit too far. What?
I'm gonna get some water.
Okay, go ahead. All right, it's catching right there. Okay, so it's a little bit on the, a little bit to the left. A little bit on the left. All right, so maybe I over tighten a little bit too much. Loosen this one up again. Okay. A little bit of spot there. Okay, right there. Tighten it a little bit and got a little bit, there's a little bit of wobble, but it's very, very slight, not very noticeable at all. But here, as you can see now, wheel runs very smooth. There's no catching, and that's what I want. So, and I'm just noticing that it looks like I did, I did the missing link wrong because it somehow popped out. So I do have a little tool that I use for that specific purpose. Doesn't, you don't need it. It doesn't, it's not required for anyone who works on a bike necessarily, but this actually does have, it just has some special little teeth, and you just go right inside there, and once you're inside you just grab it, twist it. Yep, and there we go. And now I think it's right. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Okay, so looking good. Put this back up here. Okay. Sprocket looks clean. Sprocket looks clean. I'm going to actually drop my bike a little bit here. Sorry. Okay. Sprocket looks clean. Chains clean enough. Could be better, but it's good enough. And the rear derailleur looks okay as well. So last thing, for at least for the chain, is lubrication. So I do talk a lot about lubrication. What's the difference between lubrication and solvent? Most people believe that WD-40 and the such and the like, WD-40 standing for water displacement number 40, because that was the number 40th uh, solution or product that they, or variation that they created. I'm in product development as my real job besides my biking stuff. And they actually worked on the formula for quite some time because it was made for the space program back in the 60s. And so when WD-40 came out and they had when they finally got it figured out, the government was like, great, we're going to start to use it on the space program, all that good stuff. Then they said, you know what, this is a really good application for the for the private sector as well, not just simply the government sector. And so they started to market it as WD-40. So WD-40 is not a lubricant. It is a solvent, okay? And it is made for uh, removing rust or penetrating certain things. It's a penetrant, really, is what it is. It's used to penetrate and to break up rust and things like that. That's really what it's for. But it doesn't stay. It doesn't stay there. It actually will evaporate or it will flash off after time. Not quite as fast as maybe like the mineral spirits or something like alcohol or acetone or something like that, which are have a much lower flash point, and so they're gone very, very quickly. So most of the other volatile organic compounds, or VOCs as they call them, will flash off rather quickly. And So WD-40 does not do it very quickly, but it still is. It doesn't stay. So it is used to remove rust, break things up, and then it's done its job. So what you need to do then is you need to put some sort of lubrication. So what I use, at least for my chains, is what's called the DuPont Chain Saver, which is a waxed-based lubricant. It's called a dry lubricant, and you can hear the little ball rattling around inside. And this actually has, because of course it's basically made by DuPont, and DuPont is the one that makes Teflon. So Teflon is a fluorocarbon and fluorocarbon. It's a hydrofluoride, I believe is what it is. As fluoride, it does fluorocarbon. Maybe it is. I can't remember. That's take me back a few years. But Teflon does actually do a really good job at, of course, resisting the adherence to other things, which is really what it's all about. That's why they have nonstick pans. They have nonstick pans are because of the fluoride. So that's why they have fluoride in our water for our teeth and things like that. But there are other reasons for that fluoride is not good for you. It's not. It may be good for protecting your teeth, but not necessarily good for your body. But I digress. I'm not going to get into the health issues. So, but anyway, so this is like I said, it's a wax based lubricant, dry lubricant. So what it does is that when it goes on, it will actually not it will not attract dirt per se. It will actually work as to repel water and not attract it with like most wet lubricants like grease and oil and things like that, which are considered wet. I mean, it's not. There's no water in there, so it's not really a wet thing. But it does have a more of a stickier consistency that will attract the dirt much more. Why is that important thing? Because as you attract dirt and the dirt gets in there, it grinds into the metal parts and will cause premature wear, and things will start to, of course, it'll degrade very quickly. So this wax actually does a good job of repelling the water as well as repelling the dirt and grime and stuff like that. So me living in Texas where it's pretty dry out here, I would want this dry lubricant for most of my bikes. I do have a wet lubricant, and here's just an example. Is this one right here, and this is more for wet conditions. And I use it for some other applications. I'm not going to get too much into that right now, but it is possible. But for the chain, we'll use this. So it's just a matter of just spraying on a little bit. And it doesn't take much, just a little bit. And once that's on, want to grab me another paper towel, buddy? All right, thank you. Just wipe off some of the excess here.
Daddy,
And you can see that it's not
Daddy,
really that
that
clean.
one's golden.
Yes, I know.
That one's gonna be me.
Is that you? Oh, yeah? So anyway, but this is, so it is, so it's still a little bit dirty, but for the most part, the chain seems pretty good. So now that I have the chain fixed and the bike seems to be working pretty good, then what I want to do is put the bike rack on again. Oh, you want to rotate it? Go ahead. So then the last piece is to put this back on, which is the bike rack. I'll just slide this up here. Hang on a second, buddy. And before you start going too deep into this, hang on, put this. I don't want this to cause a problem here. Yep. There you go. Thank you.
I can keep on.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I need to put the bolts in, then I'll let you do that. Okay. Yeah, the bolts. Bolts. So this was in here. Oh, you want to grab that for me, Putty, please? Here. It's called a washer. Uh-oh. Dropped it again. Okay. Thank you. All right. So this wants to go up here, and we'll put this in here. All right.
Now?
Not yet. Almost. 2 down. 2 to go.
Two.
Okay.
Two. K.
Okay. And then we put this down here. And now you can do it. Now you can go ahead.
No?
Uh huh. Yep. Okay. So I need my 5 millimeter wrench. And I'll just tighten this up. Oh, sorry, buddy. Tighten this one up.
I'm on a roller coaster. Oh, let's go in the giant sea rolly thing. Ooh, let's go to the roller coaster.
Okay. So looks pretty good. Okay, let's check the derailleurs. All right, keep doing it. Let's see. All right. So now that we have that, keep going here, and there we go to the top one. Oh, almost there. One more. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Top one. There we go. So alignment looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any problems there. Okay, so we can go back down. All right, drop it down. And let's check the front. Keep going, keep going. There we go. And we drop that down. Yep. Going pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, look. I'm going super fast.
Yep. So to describe what's going on here, if you don't know what gearing, why bikes have so many gears, the crank has three chain rings, and the back has 7. So there's a total of 21 gears possible. And what you will do is the larger the one on the front, the more speed you will get. The larger one in the back, the more torque you will get. So if you go small to large, that's the greatest torque you'll have, but the least amount of speed. Whereas if you go from biggest to smallest, then you have the greatest amount of speed and least amount of torque, as Levi is now demonstrating, because now he's rotating at a pretty much standard velocity, right? He's rotating basically the same RPMs. But if I were to now drop this down, and we drop, keep going. Yep. So we drop down to the lowest gear on the front. Well, not the lowest gear. Sorry, the lowest gear. That's right. That is the lowest gear. No. So lowest gear on the front. Now the speed is slowing down, and if I take this up to the highest gear, you see that he is rotating pretty much the same, but the tire is moving much slower. So this is the reason why we have gears on a bike, so that you have the ability to go up mountains, down mountains, or anything in between without too much discomfort. It's to try to allow, the same concept as in a car, sorry. Cars will have transmissions. They have, however many gears they have, but since for the most part, you're going as fast as you can, but that wheel isn't moving too fast, is it? Right? So what do you want, if you want to make it go fast, what do you have to do? Huh? You want to make it go faster, what do you do? This one, okay? All right. So now keep going. Is it going faster now?
Yeah.
All right. How about now?
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah.
How about now? Now it's moving fast, right? So as you can see, the speed at which your bike will go depends on the gears you select. For the most part, and yeah, that's pretty quick, isn't it, huh? So with all that's going on here, then of course, as you ride your bike, if it feels like you're struggling, then it's easier just to take it up. It's easier to take it up. That's why it has that huge top or a huge low gear, so that you can really drop down into that sucker, and it just gives you that cranking power because it's almost as big as the small crank. As a matter of fact, it is probably the same size as the front small chainring. So with the small chainring and at the same size as that, you basically have the rotation of your crank, which would be a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that for every time your crank goes around 360 degrees, your wheel will go around 360 degrees. That's what it'll do. So that's the reason why you have these different gearings going on here, is because it allows you to choose the speed or the amount of effort you're going to have to do, level flight. If you're going to go level just going to go level.
Daddy, look at me.
Yes, I see.
I'm super good.
Yep. All right. So what happens if I drop this down, huh? We drop this down. Yep. And keep going. Keep going. You're doing it fast. But what's happening to the wheel?
Going faster.
It's slowing down, actually. I mean, you're spinning the crank pretty fast, but you're not getting much speed out of your rear wheel, are you? You're trying to, right? Yeah. So how do you make it go faster again? This one?
Mm-hmm.
This one? All right, what do I do? Crank it up? Like that? There you go. Better, right? What else do I need to do? This one? So what happens when I drop this down? Oh, much different, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, it goes slower.
No, it doesn't go slower. It goes faster. The wheel's going faster, but you're spinning the crank slower, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so I think we've done enough for today, right? Bike's working pretty good. Front wheel runs nice and smooth. Not having any issues with the. Oh, you want to break it? All right, there you go. So we've got it back together again. Trek is a good brand. I love it. Like I say, I have my other Trek 360 rebuild that I did a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, when I first started my channel. And but I've got more bikes in the back there. I've got a Trek 430, 4300, sorry, 4300, that blue one in the back that you can barely see behind my Gary Fisher, that red black one. That's my mountain bike. I definitely have other videos that I put up to show specific things. And if anybody's interested, leave a comment, and I will give for the people that have decided to watch this thing until the end, then I will say leave a comment. And for those that are close by, meaning if you live in Texas or in the general vicinity of where I live, then you are by all means leaving a comment and say, I like that bike. I'm actually going to give this bike away. I'm going to give this bike to somebody who leaves me a comment, and will or went through the ordeal of almost an hour of us talking and going through this bike rebuild, and somebody could get a free bike out of this thing. So until the next video, right? What do you want to say?
And make sure to like and subscribe.
There you go. So that's my marketing manager here.
And I love planets.
You love planets. That's right. You do like planets, don't you? You love them. Okay. So thanks again. This is Brian, and what's your name?
Levi.
Oh, that's right. You're Levi. That's right. Okay. So Levi from One Loose Sprocket, and we'll sign off until the next session we have. See you then.
Bye.
And end stream. There we go.